And a very good morning to you, 7 minutes after 10 o'clock at Power Talk Radio, 1460 and 101 FM. It is time for the Experts Hour, and we're going to kick things off with our tech expert, Luis Alvarez, CEO of the Alvarez Technology Group. Good morning, Luis.
Good morning, Mark. How are you today?
Doing pretty good. It's going to be a nice day once the fog and clouds burn off, and starting to do that right now.
Yeah, it's out where we are. It is very nice. I live out on the Highway 68 corridor, so I'm enjoying the warm weather and the roar of cars on the Laguna Seca Raceway. So.
Oh, right. There's a race event this weekend, some sort of Trans Am event.
This week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, we want to talk about Amazon's Rekognition program, and that's REK Rekognition. And this is using, AI and facial recognition. The facts on facial recognition with artificial intelligence. What do you know about this?
Well, earlier this week we talked about how JetBlue was using facial recognition as a method to eliminate the need for passports and boarding passes for international flights. And so I decided to go and do a little bit more research into facial recognition and what the status of the technology is. And I was surprised to find that it's much farther along than I thought it was, and I stumbled across Amazon's Rekognition, which is very German, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's a platform, part of Amazon Web Services, AWS, which they've had for a while, and what they do is they give you the ability to subscribe to a database of faces that come from multiple sources, law enforcement, DHS. Some social media, and then you're able to upload either video or still images and search that database for matches. And what I discovered was that this platform, which is, by the way, available to anybody, this is not limited at all, and can be as inexpensive as $7 a month to use.
Wow.
Is being used by law enforcement quite a bit as a way to track down, criminals or suspects who have committed crimes and were caught on video or were caught via photography. And in the past, what the cops would do is that they would attach that video to an email that would go into the system, or to attach it to a bolo and say, hey, does anybody recognize these guys? Well, now by using this platform, they're able to just upload it there and catch people that otherwise wouldn't be caught, because of just the way that facial recognition software works is not the way that we see people. It uses an algorithm that lets it you can't hide behind glasses or behind a wig or behind a beard. It can see beyond that and identify people pretty accurately.
How does it do that?
Well, what it does is it looks at the human face from the standpoint of bone structure, location of the eyes, location of the mouth, different, aspects of what a face is that we, don't necessarily see, because we tend to focus on things like the makeup that person is wearing, or the way their hair is done, or the way, if they have a facial hair or don't have facial hair, those sorts of things. And sometimes, the human eye isn't the best at recognizing people. And that's one of the reasons that prosecutors will tell you that, sometimes live witnesses aren't the best witnesses, because just the nature of their the way the memory works. And so this software that Amazon has created allows you to not be dependent upon a person. You're looking at computers actually deciding whether two people are the same person.
Wow. I read in this story that you sent me that Washington County in Maryland, their sheriff's department, spent about $700 to upload their first big haul of photos. And then for all the searches, as you mentioned, they pay about $7 a month, which is pretty incredible. Have they found this to be a useful tool so far?
Oh, absolutely. This is a tool that law enforcement is using not only to track down new lawbreakers, but really to go back into cold cases where they have video or they have pictures of suspects and they haven't been able to match them to anybody, and say, well, let's go in there and see if we can find a match. Because a lot of people that commit crimes are already in somebody's database, whether that's criminal database or DHS or somebody else's. So it's a plethora of images that you can use to compare. You know, and for law enforcement, I think it's a great tool to really solve crimes. But my fear, as you know, many people who are a little concerned about the spread of facial recognition will tell you, is, you know, in the hands of folks that don't have good intentions, this can be a problem. Imagine if you were stalking somebody, and you wanted to know where they were at. And in fact, one of the things of Amazon's Rekognition program, one of the features is you can turn on their celebrity tracker. So they have a special database of celebrities where they maintain these images, and you can use it either in batch mode or in real time, because if you program it right, you can actually have Rekognition working to look at video in real time and identify if celebrities have, you know, wandered into a restaurant or were caught someplace that might be compromising. So, you know, shows like TMZ and you know, Hollywood Extra, I'm sure that they're working at integrating this platform into their tools, so that they can you know, stalk celebrities even more than they're doing today.
Right. But when they're stalking celebrities, they're just trying to either uncover embarrassing moments in their lives, or they're trying to get them on camera to talk. What's really, really dangerous is the twisted person that has nefarious, you know, goals for a celebrity or anyone. I mean, I imagine the extension of this facial recognition technology is that, you know, you could go onto Facebook and find somebody and decide that you wanted to hunt them down and upload pictures of them into this database, right? And turn on that tracker and find, oh, well, they're having lunch over at McDonald's on Del Monte, you know, and traipse on down there. Wait for them in the parking lot.
Yeah, imagine if you're somebody who's fleeing an abusive relationship, and you've flown, you know, you've moved your family halfway across the country or all the way across the country, and you're trying to hide out, and somebody takes a picture of you on Facebook and uploads it, and suddenly the stalker has access to this sort of stuff, and they can track you down wherever you're at. It just makes it's super creepy that you know, even if you've done all you can to prevent yourself from being found out, maybe you're not on social media yourself, but you accidentally get caught in somebody else's picture. Right. Now that database is available, and in fact, Facebook is also working very diligently on their facial recognition software, and so much so that a lot of their developers, people that work for Facebook, have protested that Facebook is working on this, and specifically is working on this as a tool that could be used by law enforcement or by, you know, Border Patrol and places like that. And, you know, a lot of those developers and programmers that work for these high-tech companies tend to be on the liberal side of things. So they don't like the idea that the company they work for is doing something that they wouldn't approve of. Right. So Facebook has been doing it quietly in the background, whereas you know, Amazon is out there already. But
taking another step further, you were talking about someone fleeing a violent relationship, right? Well, how about if you're in a witness protection program because you turn state's evidence on the mafia or a drug cartel? Hey, they can relocate you to the hinterlands of Wyoming, right? But the people that want to get you can still find you.
Yeah, especially because they're not depending on the human eye, right? This is not like a picture of you now that you've dyed your hair blonde and grown a beard and gained 20 pounds to try to hide your appearance from the guys that are chasing you. You know, that software doesn't care about any of that. Right. It's still going to identify you dead on if it has enough points on your face.
Now, when law enforcement is using this database, I would imagine that they're only uploading the, you know, people that have arrest records that are, you know, that are known to them, right? Or are they saying, let's just get everybody? Because there are so many cameras in so many places today that you could basically harvest the entire general population into one of these things.
Yeah, and in fact, you know, I know that when you go to an event like a concert or like a big festival, there are cameras that are tied into a very similar database like Amazon's Rekognition that are looking for known bad guys in the audience, or known people that are suspected to have committed crimes in the past or might commit crimes in the future. It's a little Minority Report going on there. And they're constantly scanning the crowds to see if they can spot anybody that they need to talk to.
Yeah, it also reminds me of Enemy of the State.
Yeah, Enemy of the State. That's another good one. Yep.
Where, I mean, they had that type of technology in those days, like 20 years ago, and that was just a fanciful fiction, but it's a reality now. Yeah,
and one of the concerns that people have about Amazon's technology is, one of Amazon's companies is Ring,
right.
the company that makes the video doorbell.
Yes.
So imagine all the images that theoretically Amazon could be harvesting from all those rings that are out there scanning faces as people come to doorways to be let into somebody's house or apartment. Mm-hmm. There's what's to keep them from using those images as well.
Good point.
In their database. So there's still a lot of things that need to be decided. Unfortunately, there's no rules right now, no regulations at the federal or state level that govern this sort of activity, but I think we'll be seeing some pretty soon.
I would think so. And I was going to ask you about that. If Congress is, if this is on their radar, or any of our state legislators, if they're paying attention to this and thinking about, ways of dealing with it, because this is, boy, you talk about a step too far.
Yeah, and there are bills in Congress at the federal level, as well as many states that are circulating through the legislatures, that specifically dealing with how you manage and regulate facial recognition and what you can and can't do. So I think there's still a lot to be decided in this. But if some limits are put around Amazon's product, then I'm comfortable with it. I just don't like the idea that anybody could do it.
Wow. So what is the only thing you can't wear sunglasses or a beard? I guess the only thing you can do is wear a burqa over your head,
Yeah, pretty much. Or,
it might be the only people that can be protected from this. Jeez.
Hide your face somehow, because otherwise it's, no matter what you try to do to disguise yourself, it won't fool Rekognition.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. All right, Luis Alvarez, CEO of the Alvarez Technology Group, has been our guest kicking off the Experts program this morning here on Power Talk Radio, 1460 and 101 FM. And Luis, the toll-free number for the I-Team?
Yeah, give us a call at 866-78-I-Team. That's 866-784-8326.
And the website is alvareztg.com, and his Twitter handle is @AlvarezTG. Luis, thanks very much. Have a great weekend.
You too, my friend. Take care.